Are you planning to visit Kenya in the near future? Are you stressed about having all your travel documentations ready in order to enter the country? Is there or isn't there a COVID test requirement to enter? Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing everything you need in order to be fully prepared for your dream trip to Kenya this year. It is currently May of 2022, and I'm going to be taking you along with me on my journey to Kenya to share step-by-step everything I needed to successfully arrive. Are you ready to be the most prepared you could possibly be for your dream trip? You ready? Let's do it.
We remind you that on board this train you have to wear FFP2 face masks covering nose and mouth. The violation of this obligation will be subject to disruption of service in the first available station. You should sanitize your hands frequently.
I am currently at the Rome airport waiting to check in. I actually got here way early because I had to get out of my Airbnb at a certain time. So I'm here even before the gate agents are ready to check people in. So hopefully they get here soon because right now I'm just chilling. I'm feeling pretty prepared that I have everything. I've really read all of the requirements online. I am flying Qatar Air, so what I always usually do is read the airline's website because they're going to be the ones who decide whether you get on the plane or not, right? So I'm pretty sure I have everything I need, but pretty soon I'm going to be confirming this once I can finally check in. Ta-da! Alright, so I officially checked in to my flight. I have my boarding passes here, which is a great sign. So far, so good. I am currently huddled in a little cafeteria corner because I'm hungry, and I'm going to be vlogging over here, talking to you guys about what I needed in order to check in for my flight. This is such a relief because I don't know about you guys, but every single time I check into an international flight since COVID, I've had such an anxiety spike when I'm standing in the line. I'm looking around, seeing everyone with different documentations out that I don't recognize, and I'm like, oh my gosh, did I forget to get something? There's just so much worry nowadays when it comes to travel and making sure you have everything ready. So luckily, I had everything I needed today. So far, so good. They essentially asked me for 4 things when I checked in, and these are the 4 things that are very clearly mapped out on the government of Kenya's website. So there was no surprises there. The first thing they asked for was, well, a passport. And if you don't have a passport for an international flight, then I don't know if I can help you. So that's the first thing. The second thing they asked for was vaccination proof. And if you are not vaccinated, they proceed to ask if you have a PCR test with you. So I'm not exactly sure what the PCR requirements are if you're unvaccinated for COVID-19, but I believe it's within 24 hours of departure. And of course, it has to be a negative test result. But in my case, I am fully vaccinated. I even have a booster. My last shot was about 5 months ago. So in order to travel to Kenya, you need to have your vaccine proof uploaded to a website called the Global Health Haven. I have that linked below, so it's really easy for you to fill out. It only takes a few minutes, and you just need to upload your vaccine proof, and then it comes up with a QR code and a sheet of paper that will tell you how many doses you've had and your information and all that. So that was very straightforward. I have that with me. I'm planning and expecting to have that scanned when I actually arrive to the airport in Nairobi. Make sure you do that. So that was the second thing, is just the whole vaccine proof. The third thing I needed was, of course, an e-visa. This is probably the #1 requirement you're going to have to focus on well ahead of time before your trip. So you can apply for an e-visa in the other link I have below. It's very straightforward. You go through it, you fill out your information, you talk about where you're going to stay, how long you're going to be there for. It's very helpful if you know which hotel or accommodations you're going to be at, because there's a lot of questions about that. So it's just much easier to fill in the address, the phone number, whatever, by filling in the first hotel you're going to be staying at in Kenya. So that process is very straightforward. You're going to have to upload a passport photo when you do that. And then you end up with a barcode and a whole sheet of paper that's officially your visa. And it used to be that you could just arrive to the Nairobi airport and get a visa upon arrival, but this has since changed. Ever since COVID, they have required people to apply for a visa in advance, so you have it when you officially arrive, which to me makes more sense, because why would you risk arriving to an airport and then being denied a visa. Like that just seems very foolish to me. So this makes a lot more sense, and that way you just fully know that you have a visa, you apply. It only took about 3 days for that to get approved. It's very straightforward, very fast. I did it 2 weeks ago and I had it at least 10 days in advance for my trip. And I'm probably not going to show you all of my information on the screen here, but just know that I'll have a barcode, some fancy schmancy confirmation numbers, and all that jazz. So that was the third thing they asked for at both checkpoints, of course, because they want to make sure you have a visa before traveling all the way to Nairobi. And the fourth thing they asked for was a QR code from the Ministry of Health in Kenya. And this is also linked below. You'll see this everywhere. I had to do this last year, so this was very familiar to me. All you do is you go click on the link, you fill out the form, you declare that you have not had COVID recently or have tested positive and that you do not have any symptoms. This is probably the easiest of the 4 things I mentioned to fill out. It just takes a quick minute, and then you end up with a QR code, and I'm expecting to have that scan upon arrival, just like last time. So those are the 4 things they asked me for. They asked me twice when I first got to the boarding area and then when I officially checked into the flight. So this was double screened. These are definitely the things you need. And as far as I know, I am well on my way to Kenya, but just to be sure, I'm going to be taking you along with me for the rest of the journey. So let's go to Kenya. I have flown out of this airport so many times in this terminal and I've never seen it this dead before. It's kind of eerie. I can see the plane. I've never flown Qatar Airways before. I've heard a lot about them, so this is going to be my first experience flying with Qatar. I'm very excited. I kind of have those pre-trip jitters. I get this all the time when I travel internationally. I can't help it, especially when I'm by myself going long distances. That's kind of where it really kicks in. But overall, just super stoked for this experience. As soon as I board the flight and we take off, I'm sure I'll be feeling much better. On flight number 1. So here I have my dinner. I ordered the Hungarian beef with potatoes. And this is to take some of the anxiety edge off. Don't mind if I do. Actual cutlery, which I don't think I've ever had on a flight before. This looks pretty good. Made it to the Doha airport. This airport is extremely nice. Wow, my first time here. If you look over my shoulder, you'll see this really bizarre teddy bear thing. I don't know, some cool art exhibit, but it's cool. All right, I will be boarding my next flight very soon. I just have to say that last flight was exceptional. It went super smoothly. The service was phenomenal. This is not an ad, by the way. I just feel compelled to say this. That was some of the best service I've ever had on a plane. I'm now just realizing how much US airlines really skimp you out on your flying experience. They skimp you out on legroom, on food, on how big your window is. These are all things Qatar Airways is winning at right now. I'm just saying. I also had the full row to myself, which was super clutch. I'm really hoping I might have that on the next flight because it's a red-eye flight and I could really use a lie down. So anyway, I'm anticipating there being another checkpoint before I get on the next flight, the official flight to Kenya, where I probably will have to represent all of the documents I had to when I first checked in. So stay tuned. Sorry, I look like a dead carcass after that long flight. But anyway, I got through customs just fine. They asked for my visa, they asked for my passport, and that was it. There was one person who was checking COVID vaccines, and that was very straightforward, very easy. I was out in less than probably 15 minutes. So I'm officially in Kenya. I've
Oh my
reunited.
God, I'm still wearing my sleeping mask.
It looks like a choker. You guys, this is my dearest and nearest and dearest friend, my fellow safari slut,
Hi.
Shelly. We have reunited. She came all the way from Vancouver. I came from Rome. We just arrived an hour
What a
apart.
journey.
And we are just catching
And
up.
now we're here.
We're so on an adrenaline rush.
Disheveled.
We look like dish
Dirty.
rags. This is our van. We are going on a trip with Gorilla O'Clock, and I'm so excited. We're both looking like a height is about to sniff us out and eat our remains.
Okay.
I just have a few quick questions.
Okay.
Okay, I just shared my journey with everyone about how I got here and what documentations I needed. Now, what documentations did you have to show on your trip? Because you came all the way from Vancouver.
Well, let me pull out my portfolio. I came prepared.
Oh, wow, look at
So,
this.
first of all, if you are fully vaccinated, then you will have to get a provisional certificate from Global Haven.
Okay, yes, I did show that.
Yes. So that's number one.
But did they ever ask for that?
No.
Me neither.
But if you're not vaccinated, then you'll have to do PCR tests.
Right.
And then number two, you will need a Kenyan visa.
And they did ask for this. Don't look at all of our information.
So that's number two. That's the e-visa. You can do it online. It just takes a couple days. It's a tourist visa. And which one exactly?
Well,
Jeff?
I got the single entry visa because that just allows you access or entrance into Kenya once. But Shelly went ahead and went above and beyond and ordered a full East African visa, which means she now has access to Rwanda and Uganda if she chooses to go.
But I'm not going. I mean, I have the option to.
It's always an option.
And then number three is the Traveler's Health Surveillance QR code.
Which I talked about earlier, but did anyone ever scan this?
No one even asked for it.
No, and actually, as a matter of fact, no one even took my declaration form that I was filling out on the airplane.
Oh, I didn't even get asked to do one.
So you can kind of see how it's a little bit not totally enforced, but regardless, make sure you have all your documentations just in case. You never know. It could be just a wrong place at the wrong time. For us, it seemed pretty easy overall.
Oh, no one asked for the yellow fever either.
I think they abolished that.
Number
That
four.
used to be a requirement to enter Kenya, but it's not anymore. It's highly recommended, but it's not a requirement, which makes things even easier. Well, thanks for sharing, Shelly.
Of course.
Now you have two perspectives. Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful to you. We are now well on our way in Kenya. We are currently in Mount Kenya, so we're super excited for the adventures ahead. But that is everything we had to have ready documentation-wise in order to successfully arrive. So, are you ready to go
I
explore
am
Kenya?
so excited. I'm ready for breakfast first, though.
Oh, let's go get breakfast.
Okay.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Follow for more adventures.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.